That searing electric shock when ice cream hits your tooth. What if I told you it isn't a flaw in your body? What if that pain is actually an echo of a 465 million year old survival mechanism? A brand new paper, just published in the journal Nature, has completely upended what we thought we knew about our teeth, and the story it tells is almost unbelievable. It turns out that agonizing zing is a direct evolutionary legacy from the armored skin of some of the first fish to ever exist. We all know that feeling. You take a sip of a cold drink and bam, instant, sharp pain. For decades, the best explanation was the so-called hydrodynamic theory that cold causes fluid in tiny tubes inside your teeth to move, triggering a nerve. Plausible, but it always felt incomplete. Why would our teeth be so exquisitely, almost cruelly sensitive? It turns out the answer wasn't inside our mouths but buried in the fossil record. Researchers were looking at the bony armor of jawless fish from the Ordovician period. These weren't sharks or tuna. These were ancient, primitive creatures, more like armored slugs with fins, and their bodies were covered in little bumps called odontodes. Scientists had long suspected these bumps were the ancestors of teeth, but a new look with high-resolution imaging revealed something incredible. These bumps were packed with dentine, the same sensitive inner layer as our teeth, and they were riddled with channels for nerves. This wasn't just armor. This was sensory armor. These fish could literally feel the world through their skin. They could sense pressure, vibrations, and yes, probably even the temperature of the water around them. So what does this all mean? It flips our understanding of tooth evolution on its head. For a long time, there were two competing ideas. The inside-out hypothesis suggested teeth first evolved inside the mouth for eating, and then similar tissues appeared on the outside. But the outside-in hypothesis argued the opposite, that the external sensory bumps came first, and were only later repurposed inside the mouth as teeth. This new discovery is a massive piece of evidence for the outside-in model. Sensation came first. Our teeth weren't originally designed for chewing, they were designed for feeling. Chewing was the afterthought. And get this, the discovery also solved a decades-old mystery. For years, a strange Cambrian fossil called Anatolepis was thought to be the earliest vertebrate, because it seemed to have dentine. But this new study proved those structures weren't dentine at all. They were sensory pits from an ancient arthropod, something more like a sea scorpion, a complete case of mistaken identity that sent paleontologists down the wrong path for decades. Science is a process, and sometimes that means admitting you were looking at a red herring. The story doesn't end 400 million years ago. It connects directly to you, right now. Just a few years ago, in 2021, biologists found the exact molecular trigger for cold pain in our teeth. It's a specific protein, an ion channel called TRPC5. It sits in the cells of our dentine and acts as a dedicated cold sensor. When the temperature drops, this protein opens up and sends an electrical danger signal straight to your nerves. This isn't just a side effect of fluid moving around. It's a purpose-built biological machine for sensing cold. And it's shockingly common. A recent study found that up to 1 in 2 adults suffers from some level of tooth sensitivity. This isn't a rare defect. It's a feature of our ancient operating system. And here's a cool little twist. You know what blocks that TRPC5 channel? Eugenol, the active ingredient in clove oil. That's right. The ancient folk remedy for a toothache works by calming down the very same molecular sensor that our fishy ancestors used to navigate their world. But perhaps the most mind-bending part is that we weren't alone. Evolution hit on this solution more than once. The study showed that while early vertebrates were developing sensory armor with dentine arthropods, the ancestors of crabs and insects were independently creating their own version of smart armor with different materials. In the intense predator-filled oceans of the Paleozoic, being able to feel your surroundings through your shield was a huge advantage. It was a sensory arms race. So our tooth pain is part of a much grander story. It's a story of convergent evolution, of ancient arms races, and of how nature repurposes its best ideas. The tiny bones in your ear were once reptile jaw bones. The goosebumps on your skin are a relic from our furry ancestors. And the sensitivity in your teeth? That's the ghost of an ancient sensory organ that covered the entire body of a fish. So the next time you wince from a cold drink, take a second. You're not just feeling pain, you're feeling a direct connection to a 465 million year old world. A world of armored fish feeling their way through a dangerous, murky ocean. It's an ancient alarm system, still active, still wired in, which leaves you with one chilling thought. What other ancient echoes are still hiding in our bodies, waiting to be discovered? If you want to find out, you know what to do.